Hey guys, I'm out today, so please make sure you watch this whole video. It's going to give you all of the instructions you're going to need for today's lesson. So here's your to-do list today. You need to fill out page 11 in your notebook, and I'm going to walk you through those notes right now. You need to open up your decoding assignment, and you're going to follow all of the directions. Open it on Cami. You're going to annotate just like we do on our normal decoding. Dropbox it today. It is due by the end of class. After you're done with your annotations, use those to help you take the quiz on Schoology. That will be available, also due today. So those are the two most important things. Get the decoding done, get your notes done, get the decoding done. And then you need to take your I Can 4 check, okay? So that's my checklist for today. If you finish early, you can work on your study guide, you can work on missing assignments, you can play Quizlet. Any of those are available to you, but please make sure you get done what the checklist says. So in order to fill out page 11 in your notes, okay, this is about the Seneca Falls Convention. Yesterday we had our own Seneca Falls Convention. This is about the actual Seneca Falls Convention. So in 1848, Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton organized the first women's rights convention in Seneca Falls. So make sure you put their names in your notes, and you see that there are 2 bullet points in your notes for you to write things down. That's these 2 bullet points. So write both of these points down. Hundreds of men and women attended, including Frederick Douglass, and they adopted what was called the Declaration of Sentiments, and they modeled it after the Declaration of Independence, which we are going to be looking at. And then, although it produced few real changes in women's rights, the convention marks the beginning of the women's rights movement in the United States, so make sure you make note of that in your notes as well. This is a quote, or this is about Susan B. Anthony, so some other more things to write down in your notes. Susan B. Anthony didn't just fight for women's suffrage, women's rights to vote. Susan B. Anthony also fought for women's property rights, particularly in New York. And so her efforts, after years of working to try and get women the right to own property, she was able to get the New York State Married Women's Property Bill to become law. And what that did is it allowed women to own, married women to own their own property, keep their own wages, and have custody of their children. So it was specifically only for married women, but it did ensure that women were able to keep access to their property, and it did not go to their husbands in New York. So that's the Married Women's Property Bill. That will be on your test. So test question alert. Once you get these notes written on page 11, okay, you're going to go on to, one more thing I want to add. I got to this in a few of my classes yesterday. I did not get to it in all of them. Also a test question, so it's important. This was a famous quote by Susan B. Anthony, again, the woman who fought for women's suffrage, the right to vote, and the Married Women's Property Bill. She says, "The day will come when men will recognize women as his peers, not only at the fireside, but the councils of the nation. And then and only then will there be the perfect comradeship, the ideal union between the sexes that shall result in the highest development of the race." So I have a question there, again, will be a test question. Why does Susan B. Anthony claim that giving women the right to vote will benefit men as well? And what she's trying to argue here is that it's going to result in the highest development of the race, that humankind is actually going to advance if women have a say in politics. Because now, instead of only 50% of the brains, coming together and coming up with solutions for problems, now you get to add women to the equation, and you got 100% of, human brains working on it. And so you're actually going to develop as a race, and that this is good for not just women, but it's good for men as well. So one of kind of the arguments that women's rights is not just about women, it's about human beings as a whole. So again, you will see that quote on the test. It is a test question, so just take note. Okay, now that you are done with your notes, you are going to go to Schoology, and you are going to open up your decoding assignment. So go to Unit 8, and you're going to open it up with Cami. So I have mine here. You can pause this video at any point for you to go find it on your own computer. And I'm just going to work through the first paragraph with you like normal, where I would kind of model it through to you, and then you're going to finish the rest on your own. So this is the actual primary source, the Declaration of Sentiments, written by Elizabeth Cady Stanton at the Seneca Falls Convention. She's modeling it after the Declaration of Independence, so you should see a lot of similarities between the two. And on your desks, I've actually provided you copies of the Declaration of Independence. So if you need to kind of look back at the Declaration of Independence and see the similarities, those are provided to you as well. So you're going to be underlining key phrases or words you do know. You need to summarize each paragraph in the margins, and then you need to highlight phrases or words in the Declaration that are similar to the Declaration of Independence. So let's take a look at this first paragraph. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one portion of the family of man to assume among the people of the earth a position different from that which they have hitherto occupied, but one which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind require they should declare the causes which impel them to such a course. Okay, this paragraph opens very similar to the Declaration of Independence. I think some things that kind of stand out to me, one portion of the family of man, that's talking about the women, okay? So it's a part of the family, meaning the women, when they are taking on a position different from that which they have already been occupying, but one in which they are entitled, God entitles them, it is required that they should declare the causes that impel them to such a course. What this paragraph is saying, so now we need to summarize, is that when women in a family take on a different role than they have previously held, they need to explain why they are taking on this different role, okay? So basically they're saying, look, women have always before been kind of just in the house, raising the kids, being quiet, not having any political say. That's what they previously held, okay? But when women decide that they're going to take on a different role, and one which they should be able to take on, right? They specifically say that God entitles them to take on a different role. They have to explain why they want this different role. Why do they want to be politically involved? Why do they want more of a say? So the rest of this declaration, they're going to be explaining why women should have a different role and what that role is going to be. Okay, and you're going to see that coming up in this next paragraph, where we see that they say, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men and women are created equal, right? So they've gone ahead and they've inserted that women are created equal. So in the first paragraph, we've underlined key phrases. We've summarized the paragraph in the margin. Now we need to highlight phrases or words that are similar to the Declaration of Independence. So again, here's where you're going to need to look at that copy of the Declaration of Independence that's been given to you and see what similarities are there. So like when in the course of human events, that's like the Declaration, right? Nature and nature's God entitle them. That's also in the Declaration. Require that they should declare the causes which impel them. That's also like the Declaration. This is a lot like the Declaration, just without the women, right? So you're going to go through and highlight similarities that you're seeing, like the Declaration of Independence. Okay? So you need to go through and you need to underline key phrases, summarize in the margins, okay? And then highlight anything that you see is similar. When you get done, don't forget that you also have to answer these questions here as well, okay? And just like the Declaration of Independence, where they complain about King George and they keep saying he did this, he did that, they're saying the same thing here. He has never permitted her to exercise her inalienable right to the elective franchise. He's never allowed women to vote, right? He has taken away from her all her rights to her property. The he is not King George. The he is the men at this point in time. So go ahead and complete that assignment. Okay, Dropbox it to Schoology, and then use your annotations to take your quiz. Don't forget, when you're done with your quiz, make sure you also go back and take your ICANN 4 check. Okay, and again, follow along this to-do list of everything you need to get done today. Email me if you have any questions. Thank you.